now it is that I'm recording this. Now we can actually we can do this. All right. The real reason why it is that I said, you know what, we should go live today on this Sunday. I seen Kai go live. Anytime where it is that you see somebody saying it is like, hey, listen, we're addressing this or whatever the case is, obviously that's something that people perk up their eyes or their ears and just like, wait, what's going on? What's being talked about? This, and this. So, as a recent timing, Kai Cenat went on live to talk about some things and whatnot pertaining to Adin Ross. With that being said, let's go ahead. Let's talk about this of why Kai Cenat cut off Adin Ross. So, without further ado, let's start this up.
Since the comparison's been starting, let's be real, Adin. Your community don't with me. And that's the truth, gang. That's the truth. I've been there on your birthday when people could have showed up and did it. Me and you feel what I'm saying? And I've done a lot too, bro. And I every interview I walk in, I make sure I say, yo, Adin definitely did his thing, and he wilded out, and he's such a good creator and shit. But like,
over the past couple of months, the timeline has been hinting at a secret beef that is splitting the streaming community in half. And I know a lot of you are saying, Omar, I'm employed. I don't know what's going on. But when's the last time that you've seen Adin Ross on a Kai Cenat stream or Kai Cenat on an Adin Ross stream? There's been conversations about a beef brewing up in the streaming world, probably dating back to sometime last year or maybe even the year before. And it was subtle, but last night was the climax of the conversation where two streamers got online and finally hashed it out in front of the world to see. And we've got a lot of questions answered, more questions rose up, and really a validation of people's beliefs on the internet about these two big streamers, arguably the two biggest streamers when it comes to, you know, both different sides of the community, Twitch and Kick. This all started with the growing sentiments from the Twitter communities of both Adin and Kai that Kai Cenat was ignoring Adin. Now, put a pin in who I said started this conversation, but there will be plenty of times in Kai Cenat's chat where people would mention Adin Ross or a clip of Adin Ross would come up, and it seemed like Kai Cenat would not say anything about Adin Ross or even mention his name. But so as the Twitch reactors got a hold of that, obviously they would say something, and naturally this is when everything bubbled over. As Adin Ross responds to XQC's ideas and theories about why Kai is ignoring Adin.
So, I don't know how you deal with that. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't be able to deal with that. I hate that.
Yeah. I mean, dude, guys, there's a clip of literally.
SQC gives his honest thoughts on Kai Cenat purposely ignoring Adin Ross. This is just awful. I don't know how you deal with that. I'm gonna leave my sentiments for XQC later on. But did I see something in the lines of like them two probably having a debacle with each other? Yeah, kind of, you know, but at the end of the day, you don't really know somebody or a streamer and stuff like that offline and stuff like that. What, as much as it is, I'm not the biggest fan of Adin's antics at times, and he does do some antics that is a little questionable. But Adin and Kai, both of these streamers, these big streamers on, I mean, Adin was once on Twitch, you know, now he's on Kick. They have really pioneered artists, like musical artists, rappers, R&B singers, all the celebrity figures, all of that being on the stream. They really pioneered the connection between music and streaming. They're the ones that did it. I know Adin started it, Kai perfected it, but they both have done essentially the same thing. You know what I mean? My thing, and we've talked about this before when Adin brought Playboy Cardi and the alleged of him paying him X amount of money and stuff like that. We've talked about that of just like, hey, if this is what's going to be the road to how like rappers is going to be looking at us to be like, hey, I'm not appearing onto the stream until it is you give me like 25K, 50K or something like that. When especially if you're in a contract where it is you can only do so much with making money and stuff like that organically without having to pay everybody else first before it is that you get paid, you get onto the stream and it's the free publicity. Yeah. us like me like myself that does reactions, all that stuff, and like it pushes that out there, like our reactions on like listening to a certain song, an album, whatnot. Think of anybody it is that you know that does reviews or does reactions to albums and stuff. It does give you free promo. So Aiden and Kai both are very successful. They both kind of are the reasons to why it is that this is becoming a thing anyway, you know? SQC is the same nigga that said rap is boring and meaningless and I can't take him serious. He genuinely does say some things that is questionable and it almost come off as an alt-right. I don't want to say that, but it does. He does kind of come off as like a, who do you really hate? It's like he want to say the word, but he just doesn't want to say it. Like if he wouldn't get backlash for saying like, a word, I'm sure it is that he probably be the first person to do it. And if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Has Aiden ever dropped N-word before? Has he ever just, hey, has he ever said that before? Before it is like, he did. He did. Okay.
Kai doesn't even say anything. He scroll right past it. We had a conversation about that off stream. I mean, like, look, it obviously, like, it doesn't look good, right? I mean, it really doesn't, but whatever. Like, whatever. I mean, it's not that serious to me. I really don't care. If people do or don't want to put me online or whatever. It is what it is. At this point, I just don't give a fuck anymore, bro. That's why I'm trying to tell y'all. No, it's not about being folded. I'm genuinely telling you guys, I genuinely don't care. Like, I really, really don't even give a fuck. If people want to me online, they can. If they want to me offline, whatever, cool.
I can see why it is that Kai is saying this, because even with like the chat, his chat in particular, there's no regulation whatsoever. They're saying fuck him. They calling him a rat. They saying folded. They're saying this one comment here by Blurs on God saying you made him. Jesus Christ. My goodness. Is this how it is that y'all, like, I know the internet is not a real place, but like is this how it is y'all really feel?
But it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna fake it anymore, bro. I'm not gonna fake being buddy with people that don't want to be cool with me, and it's just that simple. It has nothing to do with anything except the simple fact that I have self-respect for myself. And like, I know that like during dark times, I've been there for people, and if they don't want to be there for me during my dark or even good times, then that's it.
There's a couple of things that I personally took away from that. First and foremost, they are speaking. They're just not speaking online, which the online parasocial relationship that both of them have cultivated with their audience says that if you guys aren't talking online, means that you guys aren't friends in real life or having conversations behind closed doors. Now, I'm glad that Aiden dispelled that narrative, because some of the things that were being said are just absolutely toxic. And that was one of the other things that I noted. Man, the chat absolutely hates Kai Cenat. If you look at all these chats in these,
that's the same thing I said. I'm like, wow, y'all genuinely are disrespecting Kai, and there is no regulation towards it whatsoever. I don't like that. I genuinely don't like that, because I have seen this before. I have been through this before. You as the streamer, obviously it is like you can be like, hey, listen, chill, or you could tell your moderators to do that. That's literally the job, is to regulate the chat, yes? But if you're not even like saying that, to being like, oh, no, this isn't this, or at least letting them know like, hey, nah, we've had a conversation, we talked, and this, and tell them to chill, then I'm going to take it is you feel the same sentiment as your audience, because your audience as a streamer is a reflection of you. So what it is that they see you doing, what it is that they see how it is you're acting and how you respond, all the other stuff is kind of green lighting their actions at the end of the day. Like, hey, listen, the person is I look up to, they act like this, and this. It makes them do all types of nefarious things as if like it's okay. And this is why I be on my chat about this, like, hey, don't do that, don't be disrespectful, don't this, and this, and whatnot. But even for me, I have wholeheartedly said certain things, private conversations with certain people, and I said, hey, I do not like the fact that is you do not control your chat. You do not go ahead and say this is wrong, please stop doing this, all right, don't fuck with this, hey, nah, we cool, stuff like that. Usually they will listen and be like, oh, well, I mean, it's just the people just, they're just saying that to just be joking and stuff like that. You feel that way. as well. That's what you just told me. You feel that same sentiment as what it is being said in the chat because you think it's funny. That's how I have to look at it, you know? I said, what's the real reason for hating? I think genuinely speaking, it is that, well, obviously, like they're you know, Kai ignoring the stuff with Adin, but then they're saying it's like, oh, there wouldn't be a Kai Cenat without Adin. And that, I don't know why y'all say this. That's weird because we're not going to act like it is. Kai don't sit there and put in all of this work of literally being the franchise of Twitch. Literally going ahead and like his own stuff it is that he does. The 30-day subathons it is that he has done twice. You know, he's talked about how it is like, hey, it's been a little difficult even after doing this of just getting used to not being watched, even when sleeping, all that other stuff. Yeah, people that try to put his name in all different types of crazy allegations and stuff like that. There's people that is just plotting on Kai's downfall and want it. Like, oh, I always knew it is that he was weird. I can't wait until it is we find out an allegation it is that he actually did. There's genuine people it is that just don't fuck with Kai. I hate that. I really do. You said AMP, the collabs, the 30-day streams. Like, Kai has put in so much of work in a short period of time. So I don't like the fact that we're trying to discredit what he does. Like, oh, well, he's the same as Adin, this and this. Okay, yes, Adin did pioneer for celebrities and stuff to be in a mix with the streams and stuff like that. Kai has done the same thing. There's nothing wrong with having multiple people doing that. Since when it is that it's just only just bracketed just for Adin, that's a little weird. And to say it is that like Adin made Kai is even weirder.
Conversations, you will see that they are spamming some of the most vile things in the world about each other. Like, they're saying insane things. Again, put a pin in that. Now, because this notion now exists out there, Kai Cenat definitely had to address it online. There's no more ignoring it. It's getting to a point where it's just toxic is the small version of what it really is. So Kai has to address it. And he does so in a way that should dispel all the narratives, but honestly opens up more questions.
First of all, I want to go ahead and say, nigga, I got nothing but respect for Adin. I ain't never have a problem with Adin. Adin is my brother. All because niggas don't see niggas streaming and etc. don't mean I don't fuck with the nigga. Now,
quick and easy cleanup, but then why the division online? What is making you go away from these people? There has to be something that made you guys at one point hang out on stream and not hang out on stream. And it's something that people have been hinting to and alluding to for a long time, is that it's not the creators themselves. They don't have beef. They don't have issue. Hell, we would have known by now, seeing as how Kai has addressed Bruce drop him off in previous situations. It is the Twitter communities and other ancillary things that are making these two be divided.
The reason why a lot of weird tension even began within our community, the elephant in the room, Twitter comms, my nigga. The shit is fucking outrageous. When you got mods in Twitter comms dissing niggas. I've been preaching this, and I'm not.
I'm gonna say this as somebody, as a creator, you gotta pick your mods correct. Because sometimes it is your mods can really be out here doing something fugazi, and my mods can tell you not only it is like, you know, legally it is they're with me, but if I see something, I call it out and I have to be like, hey, I need you to chill. I need you to go ahead and do this and this. And most of the times it is that my mods would even do something like that, but my mods will defend me. That's one thing it is I will say. My mods will go toe to toe with somebody. If it's just like, nah, you doing this person wrong, you doing her wrong, I'm not rocking with it, she not rocking with it, we seeing all the stuff behind the scenes, this ain't gonna happen. Sometimes it is I've had to go ahead and be like, hey, do your thing. If you want to go ahead and do that, by all means, I'm all for it. However, if you're choosing, especially as a big creator, having the wrong people representing you can hem you up even worse. Even if it is you don't say anything yourself as the creator. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't say anything yourself, but your mods is kind of like, you know, talking shit and whatnot. This is the same thing that happened with Bruce. Bruce mods was just Bruce mod, like you're having a conversation with your mods shitting on your friends, and then they're the ones that put it out there of like, nah, like he's talking hella shit about your rage. He's talking hella shit about Kai. Come on now, you gotta do better.
I'm not even gonna blame it on the streamers because it's like, you feel me? It starts off good, But bro, I knew something was wrong with the Twitter comms when niggas started getting validation from the com to do certain shit. And it's kind of sad, bro. Now, a lot of streamers will look at their Twitter com before they look at their fucking chat, gang. And that shit is sad, bro. And I've never been the type of nigga to do anything in my Twitter com. Ask these niggas. I could care less about my Twitter com. I shout out to them because they support me on the daily. But bro, I deleted my Twitter com before, and I will do that shit once I see that shit getting negative.
It's the community. And it's something that I've talked about often on this conversation. It's the community that you cultivate and the not willingness to have conversations and communication. Look at how the chats fly on these people's live streams and the things that they say. They're racist. They're disgusting. They're bigoted. They're misogynistic. They're everything under the sun. Look at the...
Speaking of somebody else, it is that chats that say the most egregious things is Neon. Now, I don't really know Neon too much until as of maybe like last year, because he kept being brought up on a negative light. And I tweeted this the other day, and I mean it, and I meant this, right? He does a lot of stuff of trying to create shock value by saying something that is completely off the wall, or something to where it is that you could either get really hemmed up, really hurt, or you're doing something that is of like a prank and whatnot, which I don't like this at all. There is no value in shock value, which means it is. If you have to depend on shock value, you saying something it is that's kind of racist, or saying something is that's gay, but you're not really that, or you may be that, I don't know, to get your views, then you are not a real creator. I have to call it for what it is. You are not a real creator if you have to depend on shock value in order to get the viralness, the views, the people watching you and stuff like that at the end of the day. Because now you've cultivated this audience by doing something it is that's completely fucked up to other people. Now you got to keep doing this. You got to keep going ahead and supplying the demand of doing the off the wall things, saying racist things, putting people in very dangerous situations and whatnot. You don't want to be that person. You don't. So then when you try to clean up your act, and then you're like, nah, I'm not like that. Yo, chat is still like that. They are still like that. This is the shit I'm seeing with Neon. Neon is going on this whole, I'm changing, I'm getting older and stuff like that. I did a lot of like messed up things in the past when I was younger. This and this. Neon's young as hell. I said some really messed up things and whatnot. You got people in the chat saying all types of hard R, all types of monkey, all types of things. It's just like, are you not seeing this? This is your chat. It's not anybody else's but yours. This is your chat, and you're trying to deny it. Oh no, I don't, I'm looking at the chat right now, and I don't even see that. What? What? So we're just gonna ignore it. You're basically enabling it without having to say anything. And this is why I say, as a streamer, there is a responsibility that you have towards your chat. Your chat is a reflection of you. If my chat was sitting there and disrespecting other people and whatnot and calling them all types of like out of their names and slurs and stuff like that, that's my fault. That's genuinely my fault. Because when they go and see, who did this person come from? Oh, they in Ari's chat? No wonder why. No wonder why. Then it turns into, I've always been saying stuff like this, and that's not the case. You know what I mean? So you got to be careful with that.
Comment sections, they replicate just that and mimic that. And on Twitter, that's the pinnacle of both of those things. We already know that Twitter has a problem with negativity, hate speech, lies, misinformation, etc., etc. Shouts out to friend of the show Cameron, who just made a video about how Twitter communities lies. We've also done that on this channel before too, but the way that the negativity is spread on Twitter has been something that we've been talking about needs to be addressed by the powers that be, but they ultimately won't. So I'm glad that Kai Cenat has taken ownership of that and deleted his Twitter comms, which is a way of taking accountability for those that believe that, hey, these people can't be controlled. No, you can delete these communities. But this is a thing that weighs heavy on people's thoughts, feelings, ideologies about each other. And one thing that pisses me off is the fact that nobody is willing or wanting to take ownership of their comms, their community, and the people that they foster in these comms and communities.
And this is the reason why that I've been saying this. I've been taking a back burner when it comes down to like being around people and stuff like that. I am not in no groups, none of that stuff no more. I'm not in any of that stuff. I pulled away from that. I seen that the streaming communities is getting weirder. It is getting extremely weirder along as the demand for like content creators and streamers, people on Twitch, people on Kick. It's getting weirder along with time. I know a lot of people would want to be a creator and stuff, but I think what I'm seeing now is such a shift on there is a lot of streamer drama. There is a lot of streamer drama, streamer community drama, all of that stuff, and it's playing out mainly on Twitter. It's playing out in people's streams and stuff like that. I've always talked about this. Yo, stream should not be where it is that you should be feeding into like drama and stuff like that. That's the bread and butter. You know what I mean? It should be just about just moving forward with making money and stuff like that. And now at this point where people are trying to exposing doesn't do what it is that you think that it does anymore. We've talked about this even with the Corey situation with the girl, the same girl that had all those allegations and stuff. She took out all that stuff now. She has a whole change of heart now of what happened and whatnot. Exposing does not do what you think that it does anymore. It just doesn't. It don't. It just don't. It don't. It puts you on a radar. It brings people to question you, question your morality, question why did you even brought this up? Why wasn't this involved? Even if it's something like of a huge allegation, why was not police involved? Why was not this involved? And then you get death threats. You get people that say opinions about with your situation that you didn't need to. It may not even be their situation. It could be somebody else's situation. And you're bringing unnecessary drama for yourself. And then now, you don't need that. You know what I mean? I see way too much of that. There's way too much of things that are going on within the streamer community that it's all, even for me, I'm like, I am backing away. I'm backing away and all this other stuff because people on Twitter, I feel like it is that their opinions, all of their opinions are right. So I'm, he said Corey beat his allegations in 48 hours without even saying anything. Unfortunately, Corey he doesn't have to. I said this in the last time. It is like we reacted to this. He doesn't have to say anything. But unfortunately, for what that girl did, he kind of has to. If he doesn't want to, by all means, sure. But you're bringing up something that was from years ago that you were still not over the dude about. And you did all of this stuff, and then you recanned on all of the evidence it is that you put out there, whatnot. And it's like I try to warn y'all that this shit is not mentally. You cannot handle stuff like that. If you are not a creator or you're aspiring to, but you don't have like the big fan base or the audience or all these different levels of opinions saying all this stuff, and the stage is on you. That is nerve-wracking. Okay, you're not able to handle that. Sometimes it's best to walk away from the situation rather than potentially making it worse for yourself. You only make those situations worse for yourself if you add fuel to the fire. If you decide it is like, okay, I'm going to continue to keep talking about with the situation, or you feel like it is, you got to address it. There's a lot of people within streaming communities that are sensitive as shit. I know I'm sensitive, but I know when it is, they're like, hey, or I have people around me that's just like, Ari, do not do that. Do not do this. Hey. You need people that's going to pull your coat. Or you need attorneys if you're going to go ahead and sue. Either or, by all means. It is, I talk about that too. But you need people that's going to be there to be like, hey, listen, don't do this. You ain't about to sit there, sit down. You know what I mean? You ain't about to sit there and do this. You need people that's like that. Because then you'll be going on Twitter spaces and going on streams and feeling like it is you have to defend yourself. You have to talk about the situation, and then you just make it worse for yourself at the end of the day.
Unfortunately, like, Kai's community could be heavily moderated more than others, but I still see hate threads and Kai shit as well. Like, at the end of the day, but guys, a Twitter community should not represent a streamer. When I had the active 100,000 member community, I couldn't control it. You guys can control it. Look what happened when I deleted it. You guys made like 30 other ones with like 30K members in like a day. You understand? So like, you cannot control one bad apple in the basket. And that's just the truth. You just can't do it, bro.
I do not believe that the internet is just the internet. We talked about this in my most recent video when it came to Neon. The internet is just not the internet. It is something that you foster. It is something that you've created. It is something that you have okayed. Your community is a reflection of you. Those people wouldn't feel like this stuff is okay if you didn't, I don't know, laugh and smirk and giggle about it. Now, I agree with Adin. He is not the only one that has a community like this. In fact, this seems to be a WL problem. This is a whole side of the internet that has this problem where there is a great amount of hate, a great amount of toxic behavior, a great amount of bigotry, all these different things going on in it. But you want me to believe that the creators have no say-so or no control over all that. That just doesn't fly with me. I get the concept of you can't stop somebody tweeting. Yeah, I get that. Physically, you can't put hands on them. You cannot say, hey, don't do that, and they actually respect it. That's fine. But if this isn't an environment that it is okay in, it would not happen. Period, point blank. You can't go on car YouTube and see this. You can't go on baking YouTube and see this. This doesn't happen on those sides of the internet because it's not okay over there. And it's been made clear by who? The creator. But Adin Ross did wake up a point in which a lot of the commentary YouTube creators have talked about on their channels is that it's not just a one-sided thing. We can acknowledge that one side may be worse than the other side. It's the reason why they went to Kick or whatever the case may be, because they wanted to get off some of these negative things without any sort of backlash. But this is an entire WL problem.
I'm not in the mental state to be in front of your niggas. As soon as a nigga of color hop onto the stream, it's straight watermelon and gorillas, nigga. I watch Adin streams a lot.
Kai, that's everybody's stream. FaZe stream has it.
Don't do that. Don't do. Wow, Adin, no, don't do that. Do not do that. I understand that everybody got some level of somebody coming in there and saying some off the wall, but what you not about to do, especially with black issues, trying to make it seem like it is that don't happen to us more. Don't do that. Do not do that. I genuinely seen that in your chat of how much it is. They were saying rats and that. They're like, oh, fuck him. This and this. Like, don't do that. Because you're not, that means it is that you basically just enabled the behavior. Now they're gonna be saying all types of watermelons, monkeys, bananas, all types of shit into your chat, and you're not gonna say nothing to regulate it. Nothing at all. No, Adin, no. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. You can't do that.
Bro, Kai, Ray will be on stream making monkey noises. I'm sorry, I'm gonna stick up for my community, bro. It's every single person on the internet. I'm not going for that, bro. I'm sorry, I'm not going for that, bro. Ray could sit there, do monkey noises, and say crazy shit all the time, but it's cool. But as soon as it's my community or anybody else's community, Cuffin will call me crazy juice stuff, and I talk to Cuffin back the same fucking way, bro. I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry, bro. Like,
what Adin Ross is saying here is 100% true. Racism on the internet, misogyny on the internet, homophobia on the internet is something that gets you clicks, likes, and views. It's deemed to be funny because it's edgy. It's deemed to be a cool thing to do. Even if there are going to be people who are against it, there are going to be people that think that a lot of the content is hilarious when Ray gets made fun of for being Asian, or when Kai gets fun of for being black, or Adin gets being made fun of for being Jewish. I can 100% agree when Adin Ross says this happens in other streamers' streams, but where they lose me in this conversation is the fact that they act as if there is no responsibility on the people cultivating this environment. Because oftentimes when I see somebody voice their opinion about how these things are affecting them, or how their homeboys are taking it too far, or hell, how literal people in Adin Ross's camp are doing things that Kai finds disrespectful or racist or whatever the case may be.
Remember what I said and I got banned? Remember what I told Eddie that one day, chat? Thing, Eddie, real quick. That's why you don't do business with black people. And this is no offense to any black people. It's in their culture.
What? Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Chat, y'all see why it is I stay away from Kick. Y'all see why it is I stay away from Kick. You said that wholehearted with your chest, and you gonna have the audacity to say it is no offense to black people. No, all the offense was just taken right there. What? Oh my God. Oh my God. And you're saying you can't do business with
I respect their culture. Everybody has different cultures.
No, you don't.
Time tells everything, my heart.
Cause I remember when Adin texted Kai and was like, yo, could you say something about this? This is unfair. How her son get unbanned after one day for saying somebody should be killed, and I didn't get unbanned, and this nigga Kai didn't even reply to Adin. Yo, that was nuts. The only people that tweeted something out was Faye Chat.
Instead of giving the validation in that moment of somebody's feelings about how these racist or negative or whatever type of remarks make them feel, we invalidate them. We sit there and tell them it's the internet, it is what it is, these guys are just playing, etc., etc.
But the people around you don't fuck with me.
Okay.
You picking up what I'm putting out? So I say Adin.
I do.
On a real life.
He mentioned on the call Cuff him and Cheezer and shit. He did. You know, he's like, Cuff him. Well, I'll see clips of Cuff him and I'll doing this, and Cheezer and this. So like, I get where he's coming from because I've seen clips. I've seen it, and you guys remember that one clip out the warehouse and Cuff him is straight there just pressing about Kai. I mean, like, I know Cuff him trolls and shit like that. I get it, but from his POV, he doesn't understand. So I get Cuff him's POV. I get Kai's POV, but that's just how Cuff him plays.
At this point, I want people to separate themselves from the parasocial relationship that they have with their favorite creator and just take it to any sort of real world relationship. If you are voicing your opinions to a homeboy and you're telling them how you feel about a certain situation and they're telling you, well, that's just how they play, it's not that deep, or it is what it is, what would that do for you, your mental state, and how you feel about said homeboy?
Boy, as somebody it is that went through this, I'm telling you this as of right now. If you address a problem with a so-called friend and you're telling them, hey, listen, I have a problem with this, and this, especially if they're a streamer. I have a problem with your chat saying this. There's a little bit of disrespect, or they feel like it is, they can able to do this, and this. I am going to the source. Now, mind you, I'm not a person that strays away from confrontation, or if I have to go ahead and talk about something, I'm going to do so. You know? Sometimes it is. There's other times where I'm just like, hey, I'm not having this conversation, is when I'm literally like, okay, I'm okay with losing this friendship here. That's when I get to that point. But I will hit you up and ask you, hey, listen, I have a problem with this, and this. Can you please regulate this? Can you please do this, and this? Can you not say this joke that offended me in some form of way? It's like, oh, we was just joking. That's just how the internet is. How people in the chat, they're going to think it's funny, this, and this. You just said F you to my face, bro. You wholeheartedly just sat there and said it is, like, you're not my friend. Now, off rip. And I've always said this, chat, people who make those jokes, they're hidden truths. That's what they feel about you. But they're passive aggressively saying that as if, like, that's what they really feel. And I bared witness to it. It's like, wow, no, you genuinely felt this way about me. So yes, that's a problem.
And on the flip side of that, if you feel a certain way about something and your homeboy says that it's happening on his side too, if nobody does anything, how can we move forward and progress and hang out with each other if every time it involves toxicity? If there's toxicity surrounding you and there's toxicity surrounding me, why would we hang out? It seems like the ultimate case of playing too much, not respecting people's boundaries, and picking sides. Kai talked about when there was conversations about Kick and switching over to Kick and how he didn't agree. The way that Adin Ross, Bruce Drop 'em Off, and others handled it was ultimately negative and outwardly racist.
Different streaming platforms. Now listen, I'm not knocking nobody's streaming platforms down. W to every streaming platform out there. I actually salute to Kick, because them niggas are getting niggas paid. So yes, salute to them. But let's just be real.
They getting them paid, but they allowing a lot of fugazi shit on that platform. That's one thing it is. I'm just like, is the money really all that worth it? When you have people doing all types of just vile things and saying vile things on stream, is that the representation you want to be? That sometimes you gotta think about, is the money really all that worth it? Is this money good money?
Real quick, when that shit started going on with Rumble, Twitch, and Kick, it became like a sided thing to where a lot of people in their communities feel like they had to choose a side to wear the stream on. And once they chose that side, shit was just a little weird. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna call it out. Let's not be real. When that shit started happening, the audience took that as in competition. And that's facts. Mm-hmm. Nigga, Kick's main motive was to bring down Twitch in any way, shape, or possible.
Correct.
And that's salute to them. They were trying to get the marketing in, and they've been successful with that. But it split a lot of individuals up. Exhibit A. Let's stop forgetting what happened. Nigga, I got clowned for staying on Twitch. Are y'all niggas forgetting that shit? Nigga, yes, I got 3v1 one night for staying on Twitch. where niggas photoshopped me on a plantation with the CEO with a whip and niggas was laughing at me.
Yeah, that did happen.
For all that to happen and everybody come back on Twitch.
What's funny about that? Like, why?
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Even for me, there was a couple people that was just like, "Hey, kick is where the money's at. This is the new wave. Hey, 95 and 5 split. Are you crazy if you don't switch over?" I even had that, and I'm like, damn, like. I like Twitch. I don't necessarily have a problem with it, but I did started to realize that even the staff of Kick was allowing certain behaviors, and immediately I said, I'm checking out. Some people still stayed. Some people still was streaming on Kick. I said, no, I'm not staying here. I was the person that saw it, and I said, I'm cool. That money is great. They're getting people paid. But is it worth it to where it is that you have people sexually harassing women on like the Omegle app or the Monkey app? You have people that's going ahead and just calling you hard R for no fucking reason into the chat, or even the streamer saying it itself. They saying it. I'm like, I don't want this representation, and the staff is in there laughing my ass off. So hilarious. I'm cool, gang.
How do people think that that is acceptable? Why is that okay? Why is that not crazy as hell? Why would I be friends with people who maybe you don't do the exact photoshopping, but sit there and laugh at me getting photoshopped in a plantation with the Kick CEO? That makes no sense. This again points me to the responsibility of the streamer. And now we have to elevate Adin's position because he wasn't no longer a streamer at the point of Kick's rollout. He became a part of the ownership group. But so as more Twitter posts and Twitter channels and Twitter pages popped up where they were Kick or Kick affiliated, whether it not be a real affiliated Kick account or just one using the name, that started spreading massive rumors around about Kai Cenat, AMP, and anybody else that was on Twitch, like KickChamp, the platform KickChamp. That should have been squashed 100% the fast way. I know they have connections with Elon Musk over at Twitter, or hell, they could have had people mass report. Use your powers for good. You're saying free speech this, free speech that, and that's the purpose of it. That's perfectly fine. But when the free speech starts to affect real life, don't be surprised at how we get here today. And instead of addressing what actually happened in that call, the only thing that I saw was Adin Ross pivot to a money conversation about how much money they could have gotten streaming on Kick.
You said delete Twitter, Kick, and some more apps like Reddit. Genuinely speaking, I've always used Twitter because I had my Twitter since 2011. You know what I'm saying? Kick, I'm not necessarily gonna be like, I haven't been on Kick in months. It could be almost a year at this point, you know? But Reddit, I'm gonna be honest, I don't use Reddit. And I know it is that we created a community for that, but I don't genuinely be on the Reddit itself. It's cool to use it as like a content idea, that was told to me before, but I don't be on Reddit. When I've seen it is that like they've done fan service of me on Reddit is when I was like, I'm cool on it. I'm cool. I'm cool. I don't even give y'all more ammunition. I'm cool. I'm cool.
Remember this conversation. I'll never forget this convo I had with Eddie. Eddie says to me, Adin, I have like $140 million for you, Speed, and Kai. You get this shit done. You guys, 140 M's for you guys for the first year. If this shit works, we'll re-sign you guys. And that's no gambling, by the way. That was no gambling. If someone did the math on that, 140 divided by 3, I don't fucking know what that is.
That didn't address the slavery plantation CEO Photoshop. That didn't address the communities that are on Twitter, the Twitter pages that are on Twitter saying some vile things, trying to paint Kai Cenat in a bad light. That didn't address any of it. That was just putting the money in the forefront of the conversation. I am so tired of streamers acting as if they cannot disassociate with people who are bad faith actors and that are ultimately ruining not just their own image, but their relationships at this point. It's bigger than just your brand if we are to believe that you actually care about these people and these things. But now we are damaging relationships with good, clean people, as you would say, and siding with people who are ultimately saying negative negative, vile, racist things, which leads to one of the things that hurt my brain the most. And in real time watching it, I knew for a fact Adin Ross was way too far gone. Is when Kai Cenat announced the situation with Adin's manager, the way that it was taken was the most insane way possible.
Word to my mother, I never lie about nothing. Tav called me late at night, 4 a.m., drunk or off something, out his mind. I swear to God, if I'm lying, I'm flying. He calls me, he says, hey bro, Adin having a birthday party, so you need to be here by tomorrow, bro. We'll send you a jet, we'll make sure everything, we'll send you a jet, we'll make sure you're good, we'll fly you out there, bro, if you can. He calls me at 4 a.m., he wants me to be there the evening of the next day. I tell him, I say, yo, Tav, I don't think I could be able to do it, but I'll let you know, bro. I'll let you know if I'll be able to do it, but most likely it's last minute. I don't think I'll be able to do it. He said, okay, just let me know, bro. We gonna have the jet. We gonna make sure the jet good for you. Then he gonna tell me, I'm with Adin right now. He losing millions in this gambling shit. If he keep this up, I'm gonna go with the FaZe guys.
Oh, wow.
Niggas talking about snakes.
Damn. And talking about snitches, but the snitches in your camp. Damn. Well, I mean, it makes sense. It is that Adin has a fucking gambling problem. I mean, and that's not that far off for from track records here. But wow, even your mans is saying this to another shit.
The closest ones will do the most to you, nigga.
Yes, they would.
The nigga gonna say, if he keep this gambling shit up I swear to God on bro, nigga. Word of my mother, bro. Tav is a white man, by the way. He proceeds to say, from Nike to McDonald's, but bro, keep it real, bro. Nigga, a chicken Big Mac, nigga?
Like what?
Nigga, a chicken Big Mac, nigga?
What? Whoa there. Whoa.
Nigga, a chicken Big Mac, nigga?
He dropping
Nigga, a chicken Big Mac, nigga? He on my phone calling me the N-word at 4 a.m. in the fucking morning. You supposed to be a nigga manager and you, what's up with you?
Any normal person in this situation, when hearing that not only is their manager attempting to or planning on snaking them, even if it's in a joking way, and then also hearing that your white manager is calling somebody that you would call your friend, your brother, a nigga as a white man talking to a black man, would take this situation seriously, investigate, and ultimately fire this person and get somebody new. Any normal person would do that. But this is how Adin responded.
Nigga, a chicken Big Mac, nigga? Nigga, a chicken Big Mac, nigga? He on my phone calling me the N-word at 4 a.m. in the fucking morning. You supposed to be a nigga manager and you, what's up with you? The nigga on my phone, 4 a.m., calling me
I know you're not
about
laughing.
a fucking McDonald's commercial saying, nigga, really a chicken Big Mac, nigga?
I've never seen the chat move this fast ever in my life. It literally froze.
Holding back laughs. Wouldn't expect more
I thought I was joking. I thought I was joking. I'm like, is he laughing? So you think that it's fun? This is what I be talking about, bro. Chat. When I say it is, streaming community is in a very weird space. I wholeheartedly with my chest. This is not even just streamer version of myself saying this. This is just me as Auriel saying this. Streamer niggas are weird, bro. Streamer niggas are weird, man. They're weird. They are weird. And it's getting weirder. And we're only we're in July, end of July, damn near. It's getting weird. If you have somebody on your camp or in your team or whatnot, or you have a friend and they trying to slime you out, and you're old, you know what I'm saying? It's a different story if you didn't know, but like if you're being told this and they're like, hey, listen, I'm trying to do this, and this, you just never know who around you is just trying to just get that opportunity to just slime you. And as somebody it is that have bared witness to it, it's not a fun thing. It is not a fun thing when it is you think that you cool with somebody and then they are just plotting on your downfall. They're plotting to go ahead and just do you dirty. It's not a fun thing. But the fact that you are laughing or holding back laughs when it is somebody that's on your camp, your team, saying the N-word and all the other stuff, what you about to say it is, oh, everybody just say the N-word, you know? I'm like, oh my God, it's not even that big of a deal. Okay, so he said the N-word. Okay. All right, but is that really a big thing? Are we gonna start just justifying that too? Boy.
Quite honest with you, I really just wouldn't. You can sound off in the comment section about how you feel about Adin in this situation, and I know that there's going to be the defenders that are saying this is a nervous laugh. He's laughing at the chat. It's not about him calling. This is bad looks at bare minimum from a
yes.
brother that is voicing their concerns on the internet about somebody that you trusted and is snaking you. And if he said it to Kai in that moment, I'm almost certain of him saying it in real life, and you've been around
other
before.
people.
That's why I felt like when Adin called Tav later on that night, it was very much performative as hell. There was nothing that was really supposed to come out of this besides doing it for the fans, doing it for the community.
Yep. Are you eating a chicken mac?
No.
Dude, what the fuck was that, dude? Did you say that shit?
I don't remember. This is last year, your birthday, after we did your birthday. I don't remember most of it. If I did, I mean, I'm sorry. I don't mean anything fucking bad about it.
Nah, yeah, you good. I mean, I'm not one to say you're good and shit, but wait, why did you get mad about a chicken mac though? Like, what's wrong with the chicken mac?
I'm not doing this right now. I'll call you after stream.
An automatic yeah, you good, and then a deflect to what's up with the chicken mac. This is the energy that is cultivated by Kick, by Adin Ross, and the rest of his community. Now, I do think that there is a conversation to be had about the entirety of the WL, and it's something that I've made videos on before.
Yeah, he basically confirmed it. Ugh. He's laughing about it, chat. Like, oh, did you really say that? I mean, if I did, then I'm sorry. I don't remember. No, like, stop it. You know what you said. You know what you said. You know what you said. He's like, oh, I'm not doing this right now. I'll call you after the stream. Stop. Cut that out. You confirmed it without even having to confirm it for real. Both parties is wrong. I see why it is that Kai would be able to cut him off. Like, if that's your response to my concerns and whatnot, like that, if I'm hearing somebody that is not black saying the N-word to me and stuff like that, and they're part of somebody else's like team and whatnot, I'm cutting both of y'all off. If this is your response, I'm cool. I don't need to be around you.
About how racism online is taking over and it's now normalized. But when I look to Adin Ross, who has a super checkered past about these things, whether it be his dealings with Nick Fuentes or an Indian influencer or whoever the case may be, I mean, I am a pattern recognition guy. This whole thing is a testament to how you want your career to pan out. I think that Adin Ross took his own route, and albeit he is very much successful, there are different brands and opportunities that he can't get because he is deciding to go a more edgy route that AMP and the other WL streamers who just happen to be black can get. The ones that are on Twitch, you know, the ones that aren't going down this edgy path, or at least so edgy. Now, with that being said, there are definitely rooms that Adin Ross can get into that they can, due to a lot of reasons. But I don't think we'll see Adin Ross be platformed by Nike, McDonald's, Jordan Brand, Puma, or whatever anytime soon because of the route that he has taken. What I got...
I feel like the only way it is that he might able to do that is using you know, his nationality or his ethnicity basically to kind of plug that in as somebody taking a chance on him. I'll see you later, Hermit. Do I believe it is that people that have done some very vile things before in the past can change as they get older, and with that said action to correct their past? Yes. But kind of like, for example, Speed. Speed is somebody that did a whole 180 from what it is that he used to be, and how like he's looked at now of just, you know, especially in other countries and stuff. Like, he is so well known and whatnot. So like, he's learned his mistakes as well. But people like Adin, people like Neon, people like Sneeko are the red pillars of the streaming community. They're the ones it is that will go ahead and say something it is that's extremely messed up, or do something that's messed up, or say a comment and whatnot. And then people listen to this and then thinking it is that I can not only talk to anybody that's like this. I can talk to women like this. I can act like this and whatnot. Why? Because it is my favorite streamer. It is that I watch. Does it. So they don't take no levels of accountability for their actions and for their chat as well. At all, man. This is why it is people ain't rocking with these people like that. They don't want no parts with them, especially with Sneeko. They see this nigga and they just like, no. You don't want to be known as that, where you go ahead and just say all types of off the wall stuff and then think it is that other streamers who are endorsed, who got partnerships, who got sponsorships, want to rock with you. I wouldn't rock with nobody neither. It is like, hey, listen, you be too much on that thug shit, trying to like ruffle and tussle up with other people. I'm cool. I got shit to lose. When you have shit to lose, you think twice about this stuff. And I feel like it is the streamers should know better to not engage into stuff like this, because you have all the stuff to lose. But some people just think it is cool to be this way, and it's not. Chat, it's really not. You are leaving somewhat of an imprint for the younger generation to feel like it is that they can go ahead and just say, do whatever it is that they possibly can without no repercussions or anything like that. Why? Because they seeing somebody that is, on stream doing it, especially the clip farming stuff is kind of just taking one element out of something. It could be without the context, with the context, and it don't matter. And then, oh, I can say this, and this about this person. Oh, I could able to do this because it is they're doing it. You have to realize of what do you want to be known as? What do you want to be represented as? What do you want people to remember you of? Because if you on something fugazi, then it's gonna be some people that's just saying, hey, he was doing some wild stuff. Hey, like you gotta think about that at the end of the day. There is such a thing as a bad digital footprint that it's gonna be hard to try to damage control yourself out or do a rebrand. So sometimes it's not easy to do that.
From this ultimately is there is toxicity in these communities. There is toxicity in these people's chats that is driving a wedge further and further between these content creators and streamers, because this is real life. This stuff is harmful. This stuff is offensive, and it shouldn't just be taken to the left or sideways and being brushed off as people on the internet that we can't control. What I still don't see is accountability of their own actions. And I'll probably have to do a bigger deep dive on this at a different time, but I am still a firm believer that this is an environment that you cultivate. I don't have these negative racist comments in my chat or community or whatever the case may be. Maybe after this video I will, but I don't have that because that's not okay. You barely see me curse on this platform. So why would people think that it's something that is normalized over here or on this baking channel or on this channel about kids' toys? That just doesn't make sense. Something that all streamers need to understand and realize is that they are in control more than they want us to believe. And they don't do a good job of disassociating and dispelling any narratives and cutting off all toxic behavior from the head. They let a lot of stuff just linger out there. Now, are some clean
that linger, avoid, and not address properly? I mean, it's so bad. And I've always said this, like, I'm not a person that's gonna ignore the tough questions when people ask certain things, because they're gonna continue to keep doing it anyway. But if you're a person that's not going to be upfront, be honest with your community, be honest with yourself, be honest with like what it is that you do, people are gonna start seeing that. You may be able to avoid certain situations, certain conversations and whatnot, because it is your nervous system can't handle it or whatever the case may have you. But the audience is going to know what's up. They are always going to be like, hey, what's going on here? And ask certain questions. And based on how it is that you handle these said situations, it's going to be the depiction of if they're going to still rock with you when shit hits the fan. And that's me being honest. Like, I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to say anything to sound inconspicuous here, but I'm being very honest here. People rock with a streamer or a content creator for their authenticity, or they make them laugh, they're entertaining, or in most cases, like us as women, is just like, oh, she's pretty, or she's this, and you get the parasocial shit that comes down from that. But if you're not the person it is that's going to be real with yourself or real with the people it is that's around you and acknowledge certain things of like the wrongdoing and whatnot, you're gonna lose a lot more it is that you think. You're gonna lose a lot more it is that you think. You can only put up with that for so long until it doesn't work no more. But I don't blame Kai for cutting off Adin, cutting off his cameraman, all this stuff, or whoever that's part of his team that was saying all that stuff. I don't blame him because it's the same things it is that I would do or I have done before in the past. Like I said before in chat, streaming community is in a very weird place. But I hope it is that it changes later on within the future to have more people go ahead and be like, hey, listen, the streaming community ain't that bad. We can able to go ahead and like make something shake and stuff like that and have more known viral, content creators it is that's out there, But Omizi, shout outs to you. Thank you so much for the video. I really do appreciate that. Shout outs to y'all in the chat. Shout outs to you at home. And I'll catch y'all in the next video.
Oh, chosen trickster.